Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Tuesday, it is 6th of August. It is Shravana Masa or Shridhara Masa, Sukla Paksham and Vidyapiti. There are no Vaishnava events today in the calendar. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma speaking to Narada Muni. So Narada Muni has asked so many questions about the universe and who is behind the creation. So starting from the 5th chapter of the 2nd canto, so Narada spoke, Deva Deva Namaste Astu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tad Vijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. So he wanted to know Atma Tattvam and Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. So he wanted to know practically. So likewise, so he started with that inquiries. Brahma, he has completed all his explanations and answers to Narada Muni, speaking about the Virata Purusha and how Brahma worshipped all the Prajapatis worshipped after them. Everyone in this universe, they have inherited that process to worship him, only to please him. And then with that, Brahma, he has concluded, Idite abhihitam tata yede yataidam anuprutyasi nanyad bhagavataha kinchet bhavyam sad asad atmakam. There is nothing beyond the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the basis for entire creation. So likewise, I have explained all these things to you, O Narada. Likewise, Brahma has concluded. So today, Brahma started speaking to Narada Muni on his self-realizations. What are his personal reflections? So he says that he says on a 3 statement on the basis of one particular action. So the first statement is that whatever the Brahma has spoken, his statements never been proved false. That is the first statement. Second thing is all his heart and mind, which is always in the steady. It has never degraded. Number 3 is all his senses, they were never attracted towards the material attachments. They're always in the spiritual. They're always attracted to in the spiritual nature only, not attracted to the material nature. So these are the 3 statements. One is the his words never been proved false. Second, his mind is always in the progressive part, not degrading part. And third is his senses are never attracted to the material attachments. These 3 things are the statements. And by one action. What is the one action? Brahma has kept the Lord in his heart all the time. He is holding the lotus feet of the Lord all the time with great zeal. So likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, chapter 6, verse number 34. न भारतिमेङ्गमृगोपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मृषा गतिः न मेषु हि कानि पतन्ति असत्पते यन्मेषु तत्त्वं च वतादृतो हरिः न भारती में अंगा ओ नारदा भारती में मृषा उपलक्ष्यते. Bharati is the statements, what are the Lord's statement, Brahma's statements, Bharati means Brahma's statements, whatever he has spoken, Mrusha Upalakshate, they are the proven that untruth that has never happened. Na Bharati me Anga Mrusha Upalakshate. Whatever the Brahma spoke, those statements, they were never proved false. That is the first statement. Second statement, Navai Kwachin me Manuso Mrusha Gatihi. And definitely, so Navai, definitely it is not. Kwachin me at any point of time, Manaso Mrushagatihi, his mind, Mrushagatihi is the Mrusha is the untruth. Gatihi progressively. So his mind never degraded at any point of time. Third statement, Neme Hushikani Patanti Asatpate. Asatpate is the it degraded path in the temporary matter, attachment to the temporary matter. Name Hushikani. Hushikani is the senses. Patanti, they're falling down. So Name, at any point of time, Brahmas, Hushikani Patanti Asatpate, his senses never attracted to the temporary matter. So these are the three statements. And because of Yenme Huda, in his heart, Yenme Huda, he's saying that Huda Outkancha Vata Druto Harihi, and by great earnestness, and he caught hold of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his heart. Because of that, he so na bharati me ingam vrushopalakshite navai kuchin me manso vrushagatihi name shushikani patanti asatpate yen me hudat pancha vatabito harihi. So that's why all the time whatever he spoke, it is true. His mind is always in the progressive path only, not the degraded path, and his senses are only in the spiritual path, not in the material attractions. Likewise, because Brahma kept the Lord in his heart, or with a great zeal, great earnestness. Likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni, this is the self-realization. So whenever one is performing chanting and following regulative principles, everything, the purity is the force, and all his preaching is that there is a effectiveness. So that is Brahma Tapasya. That is called self-realization. So Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. So translation for this verse. O Narada, because I have caught hold of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, with great zeal, whatever I say has never proved to have been false, nor is the progress of my mind ever deterred, nor are my senses ever degraded by temporary attachment to matter. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any voluntary devotees, unallocated devotees, to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Yes,
Mataji. Okay.
Okay, Mataji, can read Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Lord Brahma is the original speaker of Vedic wisdom to Narada, and Narada is the distributor of transcendental knowledge all over the world through his various disciples like Vyasadeva and others. The followers of Vedic wisdom accept the statements of Brahmaji as gospel truth, and transcendental knowledge is thus being distributed all over the world by the process of disciplic succession from time immemorial, since the beginning of the creation. Lord Brahma is the perfect liberated living being within the material world, and any sincere student of transcendental knowledge must accept the words and statements of Brahmaji as infallible. The Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down directly from the Supreme Lord unto the heart of Brahma, and since he is the most perfect living being, Brahmaji is always correct to the letter. And this is because Lord Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord who has earnestly accepted the lotus feet of the Lord as the supreme truth. In the Brahma Samhita, which is compiled by Brahmaji, he repeats the aphorism Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I am the I am a worshipper of the original personality of Godhead, Govinda, the primeval Lord. So whatever he says, whatever he thinks, and whatever he does normally in his mood are to be accepted as truth because of his direct and very intimate connection with Govinda, the primeval Lord. So Govinda, who pleasingly accept the Lord, accept the loving transcendental service of his devotees, gives all protection to the words and actions of his devotees. The Lord declares in the Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kaundeya Pradijanihi, O son of Kunti, please declare it. The Lord asks Arjuna to declare. Why? And why? Because sometimes the declaration of Govinda himself may seem contradictory to mundane creatures, but the mundaner will never find any contradiction in the words of Lord's devotees. The devotees are especially protected by the Lord so that they may remain infallible. Therefore, the process of devotional service always begins in the service of the devotee who appears in disciplic succession. The devotees are always liberated, but that does not mean that they are impersonal. The Lord is a person eternally, and the devotee of the Lord is also a person eternally. Because the devotee has his sense organs, even at the liberated stage, he is therefore a person always. And because the devotee's service is accepted by the Lord in full reciprocation, the Lord is also a person in his complete spiritual embodiment. The devotee's senses, being engaged in the service of the Lord, never go astray under the attraction of the false material enjoyment. The plans of the devotee never go in vain, and all this is due to the faithful attachment of the devotee for the service of the Lord. This is the transcendental. This is the standard of perfection and liberation. Anyone beginning from Brahmaji down to the human being is at once put on the path of liberation simply by his attachment in great earnestness for the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord. The Lord affirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam chayo avyabhijarena bhakti yogena sevade sa gunan samadhiyaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpade. Anyone, therefore, who is earnestly serious in heart and soul about being in intimate touch with the personality of Godhead in the relationship of transcendental loving service will always be infallible in words and action. The reason is that Supreme Lord is absolute truth, and anything earnestly dovetailed with the absolute truth attain the same transcendental quality. On the other hand, any amount of mental speculation on the strength of material science and knowledge without any bona fide touch with the absolute truth is sure to be a mundane untruth and failure, simply due to not being in touch with absolute truth. Such godless, unfaithful words and action, however materially enriched, are never to be trusted. That is the purport of this important verse. A grain of devotion is more valuable than tons of faithlessness. Hey Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is a very important and beautiful verse. This is a self-realization, how one can see the devotees in their personal life for themselves works. This is how Brahma is an example here. Prabhupada is explaining. So here Brahma is the original speaker of the Vedic wisdom to Narada Muni. And Narada is the distributor of transcendental knowledge all over the world through his various disciples like Vyasadeva and others. And whatever Narada Muni, whatever Brahma spoke, it never been false. And also Narada Muni, and whatever Vyasadeva spoke, that also never been false. So these are, and also there are 12 Mahajanas. So they, these are the Swayambhu, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Kapilo, Kumaro, Kapilo. So there are 12 Kumara, Kapila, and then Bhishma, Janaka, and Prahlada, and Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, Yamadharmaraja. So likewise, there are 12 Mahajanas. So they're all, whatever they speak, it will become complete truth. Because they have accepted the statements of Brahmaji as gospel truth, and transcendental knowledge is thus being distributed all over the world by the process of disciplic succession from time immemorial. So time immemorial, not only from the Vivaswan, but but for us it is coming from Krishna spoke to the Vivaswan is the sun god. So sun god is existing from the beginning of the creation. So but here beginning from the Brahma itself. Brahma is the perfect liberated living being within the material world, and any sincere student of transcendental knowledge must accept the words and statements of Brahmaji as infallible. So sometimes we also hear when the demigods, if they're in problems, they go to the Brahma, and Brahma says that you do this one, it will come like this. Then exactly they follow that, they see the results. So whatever the problems we have got, we just go and approach Vedas, then we follow those instructions and we see the results. So Brahmas, these Vedas are Tene Brahma. It is Brahma. We approach that Brahma, Shabda Brahma. Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down directly from the Supreme Lord onto the heart of Brahma. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. Since he is the most perfect living being. So that's why, because he is most perfect living being, the Lord is pleased with him. Tam Priyamanam Samupasthitam Kavim Prajavisargen Vishasanarhanam Bhavasheshat Smita Sotishagira Priyam Pritamana Kares Prushan. So likewise, the Lord touched Brahma and gave a handshake that we would see later on when in the 9th chapter. So because Brahma has gone through all the austerities and followed all the instructions, whatever he has heard from the uh, Supreme Lord as a tapasya. And so, and since he is the most perfect living being, Brahma is always correct to the letter. And this is because Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord. And he has compiled this Brahma Samhita Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. So, and he keeps the Lord always in the heart. And that's why whatever he says, he thinks, and he does, it is always uh, accepted as the truth because of his direct and very intimate connection with Govinda. So this is wherever the devotee Swantastena Gadabruta, wherever, because he keeps the Lord in the heart. Swa Antahastena Gadabruta. So that's why wherever he goes and speak, it will become a place of pilgrimage. This is Tidhi Kurvanti Dhani Bhavadvida Bhagavataha Tidbhutaha Swayam Vibhoti Kurvanti Dhani Swa Antastena Gadabruta. So this is the statement of Yudhishthira to Vidura. So likewise, here Brahma, he keeps the Lord in his heart. So whatever he speaks, everything is in truth. And his mind is always in the perfect position, steady mind, keeping Krishna in the heart. So here, who pleasingly accepts the loving transcendental service of the Lord, he accepts the service of his devotees, gives protection to the words and actions of his devotees. So, and Prabhupada gives the statement from Krishna, that is, Kaunte Pratijanihi Nami Bhakta Pranasyati. And asks Arjuna to declare it boldly to the entire world. So, and also he says that sometimes declaration of Govinda himself may seem contradictory. So, this is Shabda Brahma. Sometimes we see in the Vedas, there are some contradictory statements. For example, the cow dung. So one should not touch any stool, but at the same time, Vedas gives that still the cow dung is the very pure. You can touch it, and it is also used in the um, so many of recipes, the prasadams, amrit, that panchamrit and something like that. So they use it in that one panchagavya. So that is pure. So here some kind of contradictory to mundane creatures. It appears that to mundane creatures, but the mundaner will never find any contradiction in the words of the Lord's devotees. So this is our acharyas. All of their words become true. And devotees are especially protected by the Lord so that they may remain infallible. because they don't have attachment to the material nature. Asevayayam prakriter gunanam jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena. So that is, therefore, the process of devotional service always begins in the service of the devotees who appears in the disciplic succession. This is the perfect statement. And the devotees are always liberated, but that does not mean that they are impersonal again. So this is from impersonal point of view. So everyone is a personal. Everyone has got, even though our Sangha has got so many devotees, each devotee's mood is different. The relationship with the Lord is different. It is not that everything is one. We have got individual identity and the relationship, personal relationship with the Lord. But what is perfect? The Vedic knowledge is the perfect. The Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they are the perfect, they are the unique. But our individual identity is still remains. And because the devotee has his sense organs even at the liberated stage, he is therefore a person always. So how do we understand a devotee has his sense organ even at the liberated stage? Because if we observe, the Lord Narayana has got the quadruple Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And Lord Krishna in the Goloka Vrindavan also there are the quadruple Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Who are they? They are the consciousness. Vasudeva represents the consciousness. Sankarsana, identity. Pradyumna, intelligence. And Aniruddha, it is the mind. They are in the spiritual nature. So one maintains that individual soul with along all these identity, consciousness, intelligence, and the mind in the spiritual nature attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead all the time. So that is the personality. So without those things, so this is impersonal, but this is the quadruple coming from Veda. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Anuruddhaya Namah Sankarshanaya Cha. Likewise, one has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narada Muni says to Vyasadeva. So because the devotee service is accepted by the Lord in full reciprocation, the Lord is also a person in his complete spiritual embodiment. So he is the Sachidananda Vigraha. And the devotee senses being engaged in the service of the Lord never go astray under the attraction of the false material enjoyment. Devotees, they do not take the pleasure in the material things. It is the place of pros. This is Tadbhasti Dham Musinti Manas Nayatra Hamsa Nirmanti Usakshayaha. Where the Paramhamsas, they don't take any enjoyment. The plans of the devotees never go in vain, and all this is due to the faithful attachment of the devotee for the service of the Lord. This is the Prabhupada's example, and all our acharyas, they are making it as a the history. Whatever is happening is also going to be the history in the future. So this is the standard of perfection and liberation. So that's why beginning from Brahmaji down to human being is at once put on the path of liberation simply by his attachment in great earnestness with great zeal for the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, the primary Lord. This is called Avivichara Bhakti. And Outkancha Druto Hari, Outkancha Vata Druto Harihi. So Mamchayo Avivicarena Bhakti Yogena Sevate, Sagunam Samati Chaitan, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So that is one whoever is completely engaged in the devotion service to Krishna, they will be completely free from the three material modes of material nature. Sagunan, Samati Etan, Samati Etan, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. They will be immediately transcended to the three material modes of nature. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining all these things. And then everything is to be dovetailed with absolute truth, attains the same transcendental quality. On the other hand, any amount of mental speculation on the strength of material science and knowledge without any bona fide touch with absolute truth is sure to be mundane, untruth, and failure simply due to not being in touch with the absolute truth. Such godless, unfaithful words and actions, however materially enriched, are never to be trusted. So this is our material world. Everyone speaks who are on the material platform. Everyone are making mistakes and cheating, and how to take money from the opposite person's pocket. That is the current modern science. That is the purport of this important words. Grain of devotion is more valuable than the tons of faithlessness. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining, and here the devotee, he maintains his pure character. So the process and philosophy is practical, and devotee character is the purest, and his life is the simplest. Goal is the highest. So likewise, Brahma is saying, "Na bharati minga mrisopalakshate, na vaikvachin me manaso mrithakatihi, na me susikani patinchi asatpate, yen me sudat kancha vatadrito harihi." Likewise, he is saying about his self-realization, Brahma. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Satsvarupa, March 20th, Los Angeles. It is a small letter. Can I request any devotees to read this letter?
I can read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhupada, please.
My dear Shatarupa, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 16 March 1970 regarding your question about the art department. For the present, we should finish the picture for Krishna first. Then, if there is opportunity, they can print pictures pictures for nectar of devotion. Both are required, but most important is Krishna. It is better to have pictures in all our books, as many as possible. I have received 2 copies of Easy Journey, and Advaita has done this picture cover, and it is very much advanced. So he can print pictures in NOD. The printing of Easy Journey is very encouraging. I think that the second part of Krishna should be printed in our own press. Yes, be engaged always in Krishna's duties, and you all, member, husband and wife, family, friends, brother and sisters, all combined, will feel transcendental bliss. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever Rulisha, Esi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhupada. You may take your point, Prabhupada.
Yes, 2 points for me, Prabhu. 1 point is always we should try to engage ourselves in the Krishna service, number 1, and number 2 is as much as we can, if we do the service as a combined family or combined devotee, combined unitedly, that is more transcendental and blissful. Horrible, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhupada. Any other points, devotees, you want to add to this? So, thank you, Prabhuji. And also here, any picture is also speaks many words. So sometimes you see one picture, it is speaking so many words from the Vedas and whatever Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, and it can be easily understandable by the even a person in a different languages. Of course, unless there is a sound vibrations coming from, we cannot understand even the pictures. But Prabhupada is explaining. So, as much as possible, all books should have the pictures. Better to have pictures in all our books, as many as possible. Okay, so likewise, Prabhupada is encouraging. That is my takeaway point from this letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got a preaching practice session with Dina Srestha Mataji. That is on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse number 15. That is our upcoming event today. That's all update side for me. Dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness or any updates from the temple, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
I'd like to share two things, Prabhu. Number one is Janmashtami is coming. We have an opportunity to pack prasadam the Janmashtami week, before the Janmashtami week. So if we did last year as well. So if the volunteers are happy to join, it'll be good. We have the request that to get the name and number to send to the temple. One thing, and number two, there's a disturbance. Is a disturbing news, but it's a disturbance going on in Bangladesh. They're attacking the ISKCON temple and anything. And Radharaman Prabhu, who was in our sangha many times, he sent me this video this morning. So we should keep them in our prayer. All the people in Bangladesh, Bhaktas and Bangladesh. We have some Bangladeshi members in our group as well. So Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So when is the prasad packing, Prabhu?
Next week, Mataji, the date, they didn't give me the date yet.
Okay.
They asked us to forward the names and the people who wants to join, did they have done the training courses or not. But I mean, if you just give your name, Mataji, then I can forward your name and I can give you the date and time.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay. I will
This
because I was thinking when is that time?
we distribute the prasad for the post and everything. Those prasadam like packing. Those
Okay,
packing.
so packing is going to be on Sunday, right, Prabhu? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe Sunday I will confirm the date, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, then I will let you know.
Like it in evening, probably in evening or afternoon.
I don't know, Mataji. I have to confirm.
Okay.
This is not the samosa. Samosa is in the evening after from 6 o'clock.
Samosa is evening, yeah.
Yeah, but prasadam probably we might do in the Sunday daytime. But they asked me to, like, they will send me the date sometime.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And also, if you could share in the group, I think there are some new devotees as well, and the devotees would like to participate in the service as well, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, I'll do that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other updates, dear devotees? So let's all from the website and keeping all the disturbed souls in our prayers. So we pray to the Lord, everyone will have a peaceful mind and peaceful life. No one will be disturbed in their spiritual journey. This human body and the human, all this life are temporary, but due to the illusion energy of the Lord, people will go. Sometimes they are acting as enemies, sometimes acting as the friends. It is all by the external energy of the Lord. So this is Arjuna's statement again. So whenever Krishna's family was completely washed off, fighting each other within their families, at that time Arjuna spoke. Sometimes they are friends, sometimes they are acting as enemies by the illusory energy of the Lord. But this is Arjuna's statement. So likewise in this world, we also see many things, but a devotee is always free and aloof from all these activities, dualities, and pray for the peace of the world, keeping all of these conditions also in our prayers. And then we shall conclude our session. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
Thank you.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री